another video. Today it's the long-awaited quilts of the Quilting Queen video, and I totally agree with you guys. You've christened Mum that, and you're right. So this is, when did you start quilting? It was when you were
May 2012.
May 2012 out in Saudi
so
Arabia.
I must have started in September 2011.
Oh yes, because this is a 2011 block of the
Yep.
month. So you were out in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Dad was here redoing this house, and so he didn't join you for about a year and a half? 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
And this is, yeah, so how did you...
Well, a friend of mine was going, one of my directors of nursing actually, was going to the Quilt Guild, and I said, oh, that looks really fun. Can I come along? So she took me, and I fell in love with it. And the first thing I did was this quilt.
Yeah, the first thing you did was buy a really expensive sewing machine.
No, that was the second thing I did.
Ooh.
The first thing I did was this quilt by hand.
Oh my god, you did that by hand?
By hand.
I wondered why you'd...
Yes, because that's all you can see.
It's
The chain stitch is for the label on the back. So this was my introduction. What they do is something called Block of the Month. And in the guild, this was the Block of the Month that was going on when I joined. And it's a way of learning lots of different techniques. Now you'll wonder where Sian got all her love of sparklies.
We don't. We all know that you're a magpie.
I'm definitely another magpie. And what this was each month...
I'll hold it. You
Oh, bless you. Oh, bye, Sian. Each month you do a different block, and you're learning different techniques with each one. This is like the Hawaiian one. This is crazy quilting, and that's another crazy quilting. This is an embroidery one. I can't remember its proper name. It's a special one. This is this is like an origami one where you're folding as well as sewing. And this one, oh, it's gorgeous. It's called, what is it? Moda. I can't remember. It's an African design one. And what you've done is you've put the material behind the material and then sewed it in, so it's reverse applique. But yes, but this was all by hand.
You've done this by hand?
And then Evelyn said to me, well, are you convinced? And I said, I am. And she said, well, how about the 440 for putting it together? So I looked at the Benina sewing machines, and I said, yeah, I think I'll go for it. I wanted the 880 then.
No, the 830.
830 then.
Which is what I have.
And she said to me, I would start with the 440 because you'll get to see if you really like it, and you'll get to know. Which
I do totally get, but the 440 and the 830 are completely different. Everything's backwards. There's to each other. They're very, very different machines. Different. And if you'd have learnt on an 830,
yeah.
But if you'd not have loved it,
yeah,
then it would have been
a lot of money. A lot of money
wasted. But yeah, it would have been a bit of a different journey, wouldn't it?
I just felt that Danny might not be impressed at that stage where we were trying to finish paying our mortgage.
Yes, and if you spent well, mind you spent 3,000 on your 440, wasn't it? Because it came with the embroidery unit as well, the 440.
Yes.
Which is a pain to use.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you get your 880 back and you see how easy the embroidery is. But yes.
But in Saudi, there's lots of places that sell all the wonderful glitzy stuff.
Yes.
And this is actually an evening dress that I bought in the market in the souk, and destroyed and used. But yes, so I got the sewing machine to actually finish it.
And quilt it.
And quilt it. But all the individual pieces are by hand.
I did not know that. Very impressive.
And they say when you fold a quilt for storage...
Oh yes, this is really interesting.
...that you should never fold it in half and then quarters, but diagonally. And actually it does seem to work, doesn't it? They do seem to be okay, even though they're put away for a while. So you just literally...
So you end up with a triangle?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you
roll them is even better.
When you lived in Saudi, you had a 4-bedroom mansion.
Yes.
It was lovely. It had its own swimming pool, its own court. Yeah. So, but there was also lots of. It was marble everywhere, and then there was lots and lots and lots of wall space. Yeah. So I don't know if I've got any photos of it.
We should have. We'll see if I have.
Yes, we'll try and dig some photos out of it. But the stairway was this kind of grand affair that went up and there was a landing, then up and there was a landing, and up and there was a landing, and there were quilts everywhere on it. It was brilliant, and the hall at the top was your sewing room, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was magic.
Yes,
magic. Danny put IKEA tracks up for me everywhere.
Yes.
So this is the next year, and as you can see, I have learnt a lot since doing these, because I didn't realise that I should use the colour of the thread on the back.
Oh yeah.
That is the same as the back. I'm not sure. You might see that this has got blue
and red
showing
and
through
cream
from the front quilting.
Yeah.
But it's learning. It's learning.
Where's the top? There's the top. So was this another block of the month?
This was another block of the month, and again I'm rather fond of it. I learnt a lot. Some of it's hand sewn. A lot of applique, reverse applique, again applique. This was a origami type thing, but it was fun. It was fun.
Hey!
And the flowers are all backed so that they're a little bit firmer. Yeah. And these are all cut out from material.
That was from my Hawaiian dress.
It was.
It's fabric that I gave Mum scraps of. Yeah. And that's one of the nice things about, because at this point you weren't dressmaking, were you? You were just quilting.
Yes.
So a lot of the scraps that I had, let's put it out like that so it's a bit more visible. A lot of the scraps that I had from dressmaking, like, would go to making NCWs, necessary clutch wallets, for the big ones, and then the smaller bits would end up on Mum's quilts. And you did hangings for your pool area, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So like even the outdoor of their Saudi mansion got quilted.
Got quilted.
The entire house just got quilted.
They were lovely, actually.
They were very nice.
Yeah. Had to leave.
Are you getting her in?
The cat does not care.
Them behind, unfortunately, they were a bit sun damaged by the time
well,
we left.
That was the point, wasn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
But yeah. And as you can probably tell, Mum started off very much more art quilts.
I love art quilts. I do enjoy them.
Than traditional quilts. So, whereas I was the other way around, I started with a traditional. I haven't done an art quilt, and I don't think I will, because I don't think I have the artistic temperament, or I don't know, or patience.
Well,
I think I'd get frustrated if it didn't come out exactly as I wanted. I think that would be my problem. Yeah. So that was number 2.
Yeah.
Mr. Chook was next.
Oh, was it Mr. Chook next?
Mr. Chook was.
Mr. Chook was next.
Yes. I like Mr. Chook. Mr. Chook is one of my favourites.
Don't look at that.
Oh, this is the back of my quilt that's gone on my bed. That was one of the very first ones you did, your traditional
quilt.
Yes,
on
which you see
bed.
on my bed all the time, and I love it. It is,
she chose all the material,
and then Mum did her thing.
I put it together.
But this is Monsieur Chook.
Oh, his eyebrows have dropped. There we are. Yes, now this was actually a material swap, where you were given 5 pieces of material that you had to use in a quilt, and I was given this netting stuff, which is very weird. I was given this, I was given the rick-rack, and I was given this kind of fabric for furniture, and this fabric for furniture that I've used in the body of the chook. And then you could use your, and the binding is the material that I was given for the binding. And then you could do what you liked with it and add to it, which was great. Danny helped design the chickens.
What I'm going to do a close-up of this because there's actually a wolf here as well.
Yeah.
And no, I'll do a close-up of it.
Yes,
yeah. And then there are little. We went out looking everywhere. I remember looking for the yellow fluffy wool for the little chicks.
Yeah.
There's little chicks there, and oh, he's got a button for an eye. So yeah, I will film close-ups of all of these quilts. Don't worry. But I love Mr. Chook.
And again, this is a piece of material that I have fussy cut and made into flowers and grass.
Same with the leaves.
And the leaves, yeah. The feet were difficult. They've got like piping inside.
Oh.
Yeah, just to give them a bit of body.
But he's lovely, isn't he? Yes, I will do close-ups of all of these so that you guys can see like the details and things.
But not that bit on the back.
I'll do close-ups of the front, Mum, don't worry.
Whoops, I noticed that.
Now, before we talk about this one, they used to do brown bag swaps. What was it called?
That's right. Yeah, BBQs.
BBQs.
Brown bag quilting.
Right. So the idea was that you would put in fabric that you liked and you would get back as a quilt, but you'd swap it with somebody else in the guild and they'd make it for you. So yours currently, the one that Mum got back is a very traditional half square triangle quilt, isn't it? But you not made the mistake, but you put in fabrics that you weren't overly keen on.
I didn't know what to do with. I just didn't know what to do with.
So the quilt that came back is beautiful, but it's not you, because
not
it's not the colours and stuff that you like at all, is it?
No. So small girl type creature's got it.
Yes, small girl type creature has it on her bed at home. Yeah. But Mum was given a bag full of black and white stuff, weren't you?
That's right.
And it turned into Mr. Wall.
Mr. Wall.
Which was very difficult to give away, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. Oh, I just didn't want to give him away. And again, Rianne, small girl type creature, had drawn an owl.
Which I will include a photo of.
I saw it and I thought, that's what I could do. So I put this Mr. Wall on a tree, and there's a bit of Saudi city, Riyadh city in the background.
He's beautiful, but he went back to the person who donated, well not donated, but put their fabric into the bag. So you'd put all this work and effort into this beautiful quilt and you had to give it away.
I know.
Yeah, I mean you did get a beautiful quilt
back. It was an art quilt.
It was an art quilt, whereas the one that you got back was a traditional, which is I think what was actually expected of you, wasn't it?
Probably, yes.
Mum went off on a tangent.
The girl who got it loved it, and it's up on her wall in Australia.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes. So that was quite a nice idea, and it was sort of that kind of, somebody else had done the KB pattern swap. They'd done a swap like that where they actually sent somebody the fabric and the pattern to create their thing that they thought would work for them, and I kind of adapted that, and the BBQ quilting idea was sort of involved in that as well, which I really like the idea of that kind of.
I think it's a
challenging people.
Yeah.
To kind of think outside the box
to get
a little
your creative
bit.
juices going.
So there were a couple of influences that created the KB pattern swap. So yes, which I will be doing again. Don't worry. So what's the next one? This is the Peacock.
This one.
A Peacock.
A Peacock. This was the next challenge for May 2014.
Yeah, and all quilts must have a label on the back of them. If they don't have a label, that's you get marked down in quilting things, don't you?
You do.
So,
and I just fancied doing a peacock. And I cut all these shapes out, and they're individually sewn on. He's in the middle with his beautiful beak, that's thread painting. Lots of different stitches used. It was fun, and then lots of nice glitzy little beads and things.
Yeah, this one's sparkly. Don't know if that's
another sparkly one.
Seriously, guys, you now know where I get my magpie tendencies from.
And the colours. I mean, these colours I just love.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And actually, he got. He was. What do they say? People's favourite.
The people's choice.
And somebody wanted to buy it.
And they actually offered you proper money for
They
it.
offered me proper money, yes.
No.
But I wouldn't part with him. Probably should have, thinking
Given
about
that,
it.
yeah, because there's no room to display him here.
That's the trouble.
Yeah.
We haven't got space.
We're trying to work out a way that we can put a railing up in the sewing room so that we can slot on
one a month.
Yeah, just have them on rotation, and covering up some of the fabrics. I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
So
It is a bit sad
that
they
they're
just
all
sit in a cupboard now.
Yeah, we don't have the wall space because, as you can see, the wall spaces have been filled, and we still have lots and lots and lots of pictures that need to go up somewhere, and there is just no more wall spaces there. But yeah, he's beautiful. I
They've
like
all
him.
got a story though, but he was fun to do.
You were going to use him as the centre of your quilt that you did for your bed, and then
Yes.
you changed your mind
Yes.
and made him into a piece of art.
Then this one. Ah, right.
So how long had you been quilting for? Hang on, what's the date on this one?
Date on this
Having said that about labels, where's the label?
Oh, I am a bad person.
Mum!
Yeah, that's very naughty. That's because I
So
think this was 2015. 15.
So how long had you been quilting for? 4 years? 3.5?
3.5
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
And they said,
please, will you run the block of the month? And I thought, oh my goodness, I can't do that. And then I thought about it, and I thought, well, it doesn't have to be a different block every month, but it's all the different ways of doing things that people really want to learn in a block of the month.
so we'll talk about this one first, because
So there's spring. And this one, the background is a log cabin done with just strips of material, and then appliqued onto that are the daffodils of spring, and a little birdie popped out in the middle of one of the log cabins.
and then
This technique, this one is diamonds, so it was doing strips of material and then using them to give the background, and you use the colours of the material to really show different things, like the sand, the sea, the sky.
what are these?
Oh,
Some kind of points.
yes,
Prairie
prairie points, these ones. And then there's applique, and the birds applique, and then quilting was just doing a star sunburst
With metallic thread, by the
with
looks of
metallic
things.
thread. Yes.
And then winter.
Winter, this is an art background, and I gave people a choice of whether they wanted to do this kind of background or whether they wanted to do blocks. And it's literally material appliqued on, folded under and sewn in, so that the edges aren't showing, and then applique on top of with trees, and then the pussycats. And I used a wool, believe it or not, for the frame.
Window frames.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, birdies. Where's the birdie? Oh,
And
the little red bird. Was he embroidered?
Actually, the fabric washing fairy did the birdie. Yes.
And then, oh, this is what you're planning on doing for your dragon quilt, isn't it?
This is really like a matrix. What do you call it? Little
Pixelated.
pixelated.
Yeah.
It's little squares. They were 1 inch to start with and came down to this size, and you do them in strips and then sew them down. So I carefully chose the background colour to denote different things, like the ground.
Kind of like Bargello, because you've...
Yes, like Bargello, like the quilts
yeah.
I did for Nia and
Oh, you were talking about that
James. That needs to be shown too. And then the tree was appliqued over the top.
And then you taught them how to do the flying geese.
The flying geese, and of course the little diamonds as well. And you'll note that with the colours, I've kept them all the colours of the ones I'd used in the actual piece. So you've got this variation going on around the whole thing. And then they learnt quilting and how to finish it.
Yes, there's a particular way of binding things as well, isn't there?
Yes.
Yes.
So that was quite an experience, and I was always like 3 months ahead of them. So they didn't know what the end result was going to be, nor did I.
So no, while you were doing that one, that's when you started on James and Nia's one, and
yes.
talking about Bargello.
Yeah.
So I'm going to insert some photos here because obviously James and Nia's not just a quilt. There is cushion covers, there's a wall hanging, there is a half semicircle backrest
yes.
cushion thing.
Yeah.
There is the works, and the brief you were given was black and white, wasn't
yes.
it?
Yes.
And you kind of ran with that.
Yes, and I've still got some black and white left.
Yes, yes. You've still got some. You had some peacock colours left from my one, didn't you?
I've got peacock, yes.
But I will insert photos of that one for you to see as well. Yeah, this one was for a competition.
One was another challenge, and again, I think I came second for this one. And it was April 2015. And the challenge was that it was for someone partially sighted, and therefore I did it in silk. So it's my first time of using silk with a velvet edging and topping, and a zip for the holder for the pole to go through, so that they could easily undo it.
Yeah. Have you also never seen such a blingy zip in your life? It's actually destined to be on the front of an abaya. That's why it is. You can actually get much longer ones of these, but yeah,
it's Swarovski.
There were some blingies.
I can't say that. Oh,
Swarovski.
Sure. Doesn't like doing that very well, but so yes, that is silk.
How many times did you piece the centre?
I think I pieced the centre probably 5 times in all, to try and get the points exact.
Did you curse it a lot?
Yes, yes.
It was a learning curve.
It was a learning curve. And this is a Dijon pattern. It's beautiful. I loved the pattern. She gave all the patterns that you needed to do it. It was just a fabulous one to do. It's called Colour Me Beautiful, I think that was the name.
It's got
Jacqueline Dijon.
Braiding on it, embroidery on it, all sorts on it. So yeah, and again,
and quilting, my own quilting, free motion quilting. Yeah.
On your not hand quilted, on your
no,
machine.
free motion quilting on the machine. Yes.
Yes.
But my own design.
I like that one.
I keep wanting Danny to hang it up for me, and we'll have it as a clock.
Yeah,
we'll get a clock thing in the middle. He hasn't agreed to that yet.
There's no room.
No.
You haven't got the wall space. You need to get him to build you another extension.
Yes.
This is the ever-extending house. This is on our road. This is nicknamed the never finished house or the never-ending house because there is just always work going on. But we're nearly there.
I've got this one out of kilter.
It's alright, I can do it.
The label. Again, I always try and do nice labels with a design on them. And this was actually March 2014. And this one, the Fabric Washing Fairy, had a lot of help with the artistic design. Yeah. But it was a block of the month again. Learning different techniques.
We've got to get the lady the right... Oh, there we are, she's the right way up.
Right. She's the right way up. Bye, Sean.
Bye!
So there was lots of techniques here, as you can see. There was dyeing of material, there was painting of material. This is my own thread painting design, which I was very proud of.
Hang on.
Beautiful fish. This is one of those prairie points again, made up from prairie points. And this was a night one with thread painting on it. That's a landscape one, which is great fun.
Camels at sunset.
Camels at sunset, yeah.
Oh, this one was fun. I remember this one.
Yes. Again, we used stencils.
It was pencils, Inktense pencils on this.
That's right.
Yeah.
Inktense pencils, yes.
I'm trying to get the shading right.
Yeah.
I remember doing that one.
Yeah.
And
that one, the old traditional seats that they have, stool seats. And the lady in the middle, and those, Danny did those eyes, my goodness, don't they stand out. Wonderful.
You've done this one at the bottom?
Yes, that was the Prairie Points.
Prairie Points.
Yeah. And that's
And
my
your thread
lovely
painting
thread
fish.
painting fish that I actually made the design up. So I was really quite proud of that.
And
that's meant to be a door.
okay.
A Far Eastern door.
Not going to argue with you. And this one I don't quite get. Why is there a seahorse and a coffee pot together? I like the seahorse and the coffee pot, but why are they together?
What happened was we dyed the material and then we put the coffee pot on, and the colours that had come out look very underwater.
So it's an underwater coffee pot.
It's an underwater coffee pot.
I love this. I love the seahorse. I think he's beautiful.
Danny drew the seahorse for me. Yeah, he's great fun, isn't he? And bubbles going up. Yeah. So that was great fun. And a lot of learning again. Ethan.
Do you have pictures of the quilt you made for Ethan?
Yes.
I think you do.
Yes.
So Mum...
On my Pinterest.
Yes. So Mum made her nephew, who's baby nephew, who's 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, my baby nephew's
Yeah.
his son.
Mum is the only tiny one in the family, aren't you?
Literally, the
Yeah.
only.
Everybody else.
Yes, is tall.
Yeah. I mean, even I'm considered short because wasn't Granny 5'10"?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I'm about the smallest, except for Mum. So yeah, but you'd made Ethan a quilt, and a lot of you have been saying, because I showed you some fabrics that I was planning on making into a quilt for my friend's baby, and it's not so much a quilt to be put on a bed, it's a kind of a play mat kind of thing. That's what I didn't explain it well. It's not a quilt to be snuggled under. It's like that was why I'm using canvas for the back, so it's a bit more hard wearing and putting nice touchy feely fabrics on the top. That was the thought of what I was planning, which is kind of what you did for Ethan.
Yes,
isn't it?
I used
Playmat.
alphabet.
Yes.
To help learning, and little
Colours.
pictures of like bucket, spade,
Yeah.
so that he could name them. Bird.
Yeah. And colour. There was a colour wheel on it as well.
A colour wheel, yes.
And the back was minky. It was sheep, wasn't it? Minky sheep.
Minky sheep.
So yes.
Yeah, the colour wheel was from your dress that you made. That
Yes.
beautiful.
My gay pride dress.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah. So the last two that we've got to show you. This one again was a block of the month that you did last year, wasn't it?
With the quilt show, yes.
Now this one is huge, so I'm going to unfold it and show you a bit of it, and then I will insert some photos
Excuse me.
of it en masse.
Now this is the one that I am waiting for my new 880 to do the quilting.
Because it's king size.
It's huge.
So I'll start with the centre. There we go.
It's all foundation piecing.
Try not to get red lipstick on it.
I'm waiting for my 880 because I want to quilt it on that because of the size, and it'll be a good way for me to learn the machine. So I'm hoping it will be ready soon.
Yes, because you've got to get this ready by June for the Festival of Quilts, haven't you, in August, which we are going to. It'd be so exciting to have one of your quilts up on display, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
But each month they gave you a different round, and you know, the pattern to do it. So it was
I like the,
a real learning experience.
the curved flying geese.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were actually quite easy to do in the end. These are windmills, Morga flying geese. Flying geese, and then mountain flying geese. Yeah,
it was very organised as well, wasn't it? Because they gave you like a key, and you picked a fabric, and you put a swatch of each fabric by the key.
Yes.
So that when they said use fabric number 2, you had reference.
Yeah.
So they thought it all through. There's actually some fabric in here that was meant to be a dress for Mum, but she's decided that it was quilt fodder. So
As you do.
And then this stuff here you bought, and you only bought...
I didn't have enough.
No, so we found something similar, same colours, and so the red and the gold, and I think it works really well.
Yes, I'm quite
and
happy
you'd
with it.
saved
A little
your
bit.
tiny scraps of your beginning fabric for the corners, hadn't
Yes.
you? So that it all did tie in.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, looking at it from the back as well, it's beautiful. So we need this one, we need your machine back so you can get this one done in time and ready, don't you? But
I have to get it done by June, so it's going to be quite a close thing now.
Yeah. Have you made decisions about how you want to quilt this?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Pretty much.
Did it come with?
No, that's up to you.
Okay.
So it was Sue Garman who unfortunately died at the beginning of the block of the month. So in a way it's also in memory of her. She was a wonderful quilter, absolutely wonderful.
I will help you fold this up properly.
Yes, we'll do that properly.
Yes. Yeah. Alright. But the latest one that Mum's actually completed and finished, you guys have seen, and she's, if you're part of the Facebook group as well, you'll have seen Susie, Mum's Overlord. Mum's Overlord.
It's quite important to see the back of this quilt almost first.
I will include some photos because I'm not sure how well that's going to show up. But the quilting on this is impressive. So this started out life as panels of peacocks. This is also to fit a Super King bed. Oh, and it's the wrong way up. Let's turn it around. There we go. Right, so this started out life as, I think this is a Timeless Treasures print, this one, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
As this peacock
which I got from America. And I did that when I was recovering, actually, didn't I? I quilted and played with it.
And how many of these panels did you make? About 5?
Yes,
6?
well, I've still got.
She's got enough left to make my quilt.
Yes.
It's coming with, so this year you're making a dragon quilt for your brother-in-law, aren't you? Patrick. Yes. And he's a huge fan of Anne McCaffrey and wants a canth quilt. So that in itself adds a whole layer of difficulty because canth is a brown dragon and you can't have any bronze in there because bronze dragons are totally different. So Mum's been learning all of, because she was going to use these brown silks but they were too shiny. So yeah, it's been this whole learning curve about the dragons of Pern, about how the hierarchy and stuff like that. So that's your quilt for this year, isn't it? But after that I'm getting another peacock quilt like this. Right? I have it on video. She said yes.
Maybe.
So
what I did was I used lots of different ideas from the quilt show, from Pinterest, for actually making up the whole design. This is called French plaiting. Again, that was a quilt show course. That's half a one, top and bottom.
Yeah, and then hang on.
This was actually from Sue Garman. She gave this centre as a alternative, and I thought, oh well, I'll use that. So I've used her pattern for this bit.
And then we've got,
this was meant to be a pineapple design, and I've put it that way because it worked.
Oh yeah, so, and then also she's kind of pieced this quilt, and I think we came up with a genius way together of how to attach the pieces together.
Yes.
Which involved sewing on a piece of black fabric and then sandwiching
The cord.
cord in between. So this is actually very heavy duty cording, and then top stitching that down. So yeah, we came up with a genius way of putting those two bits of fabric together. So it's, you sew the fabric to this side and then to this separate side, and then you put the cord in and then you sew it down there so that it catches all of the raw edges and you've pieced it together. I was very impressed with ourselves for coming up with that.
I think when I did something similar with Nia and James's quilt, but didn't get all the ends in, and therefore put a strip of material along theirs as well.
It?
But I didn't need to with this one. It worked.
So the peacocks on the side panels, because Mum and Dad have a bed which is it has a headboard that actually is built into the floor, and then the foot of the bed goes right up to the window of their room because of the views. And I will try and insert a photo for you so you can have a look and see what we're talking about.
I wake up every morning to it.
Yes, but it does mean that there's no foot of the bed for the quilt to hang off of, so it's exactly the right length for the top of the bed, and then it hangs down at the sides. And so Mum's put on the peacocks on the side so that when you look at them, they're hanging in the right way, so you don't have any upside down drunken peacocks. I would very much like one of these, please, but I want a foot on mine as well.
She wants a foot.
Yes.
And I had just bits of this material left, which is the peacock in the middle, and I've made it into the edging piece because it just brings all the colours together, I thought.
Yeah, it's really nice because this is actually a black fabric that we got from the Gold Hawk Road. It was meant to be, it's a brocade of some kind, isn't it? And it was meant to be, technically it's a dressmaking fabric, but now it is a quilt. So yeah, I think the binding just...
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd use it in a quilt again. It was a pain, but it does look nice.
Yeah, and it's got really nice texture and again a bit of sparkle. So shiny, shiny magpie. Oh look, it blends really well with me. I think maybe I should have this one.
You might get it. Danny doesn't like it on the bed.
Oh, kidding!
Yeah,
really?
It's too heavy for him.
But you just fold it back.
I know. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh. It seems a waste.
Well, no, but not when you're sleeping on it. But yeah. Oh.
Maybe.
Mind you, mine's not a Super King, so it's the wrong size for. I'll have to get a Super King bed. Oh, what a shame. I don't think I've got room for it in my house.
I don't think it would fit.
So yeah. There's a few other bits and pieces Mum's done. One of her best friends gave her some dragon fabric in silk to... Oh, she has?
Carry on.
Where are you going?
No.
She's going back there. Okay, so her friend Valerie had given her this, has had her bedroom done and wanted a runner for her bed, and it was this beautiful, oh yeah, you got those, beautiful silk dragon fabric. The dragon was kind of like an impression on it, so Mum did trapunto quilting with that. And oh gosh, what are you after? Oh yeah, your table runner. It's under there somewhere, I think. Where's the table runner gone? Oh, it's here. Oh, table runner. So this was another experiment, wasn't it?
That was all the pieces left from these, which one of my first makes again.
Dresden
when
plates.
I just got my sewing machine. Yeah, Dresden plates.
That's the back from my quilt. I think you overbought, didn't you?
I did. But we use these quite a lot at Christmas, particularly, don't we?
Well, there's two sets.
Yes,
there is two sets. And then this is the table runner, and it's got. This is kaleidoscope. You've done it with these, isn't it?
Yes. Literally cutting out, fussy cutting material.
Yeah, this was fun. Trying to work out how to turn things inside out. I think there is actually a safety pin still in one of them, isn't there?
I think there is. Yeah. And how to quilt it as well. But that worked out quite well.
It's worked out beautifully. Oh, because you did this was your embroidery unit, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I've quilted my Lone Star. Was a lot of it was done on my embroidery unit, which at the time, again, I was kind of like, oh yeah, let's just do this. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong. And like the amount of time that was spent piecing that top together, that I just kind of went, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just experiment. And what if it had gone wrong? Again, no fear. But yeah, I think there is
fussy cutting is fun. I mean, you look, this is one material and it's showing like that, and then it shows like this. You know, very, very different looks you can get from.
It was quite fun though, wasn't it? Putting the bits together to see which was the most interesting bit that came into the centre. So yeah. I mean, that's the trouble with quilts though, isn't it? That you've made so many now that it's gotten to the point where it is getting around to getting a new quilt again. Because you enjoy making them so much, but then what do you do with them afterwards? Because of I've made 2 quilts for friends. I have 2 more quilts planned for friends. I have 2 baby quilts planned, and obviously they are going to be labours of love. But the embroidered double wedding ring that I did for Natasha, which I will include a link to up there, out of interest I priced it, because I was quilting that a lot of the time at the shop, and I was getting people come in and be just like, oh, that's beautiful, how much is it to buy? And when I told them the current running total, they kind of went a bit green and sort of slunk off quite quickly. And I worked out that it would have been around about, and this with just my manpower, so the amount of hours that it took me to do and the cost of materials, so no profit in there, was just over £2,000 for a lap quilt. And that's the thing, the amount of work and effort that goes into these things is, when we were talking about your Peacock quilt, they made you a real offer. It wasn't kind of like, oh, I'd give you £100 for that, was it? It was about £400 or £500 that they were willing to pay for that. So it's one of those things that you don't ever want to stop doing, but what do you do with the things that you make when you run out of room? So it's labours of love, and it's always done for people that you know will appreciate it. And
I mean, the new one will be for the back bedroom.
Yes.
So when people come to stay, there will be a nice quilt on the bed.
Yes, you've got fancy bed linen in there at the moment.
Yes.
But yeah, that's going to look beautiful. Do you regret going to the quilting guilds with your friend Jeanette?
Nope. It's given me a purpose in my retirement.
Yeah,
I love it.
You wonder how you fit your actual work in, don't you?
I can't imagine. I used to spend all weekends quilting.
And evenings. I mean, that was the thing with Dad. Dad wasn't with you for the first 2 years that you were out in Saudi, so you know, you had a lot of free time, and then he turned up, and it was like, fabric washing fairy or quilting. Which is why Dad got involved in quite a lot of it.
Yeah, he did, bless him. He was an artistic designer.
Yes. You've been quite prolific. There's a massive pile of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what a journey though, from the hand stitching,
the first one, to this. Yeah.
And you can see by the backs that how I learnt to improve.
Yes. But that's the point, isn't it? It is a learning curve, and you do get better as you go along.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. A lot of you have been asking for it for a very long time, so if you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!
Bye!